We're going to be tying my version of the pheasant tail. Love the pheasant tail. I just wanted to fly with a little more durability and just give it a little bit different look, add some fish appeal to it. I think every fish in the river has seen the original pheasant tail more than once. We're just going to change that up a little bit. So we're starting out with Tamco fly hook. I like this particular model. This is the 101. This is a dry fly hook, straight eye, but this really accommodates the fly nicely with a bead. We're using, this particular bead is Tyre's bead. This is the iridescent crystal. This is a small. I normally tie this fly in sizes 18 through 12. For the smaller sizes, we're going to use Montana Fly Company. This is 8/0. We'll go ahead and get ready to set our tail here. I prefer to use wild birds when I can get them. I think the color is a lot better. I think the overall quality of the feather is a lot better. So we're going to take about 8 fibers here, 8 to 10. Go ahead and tie this in. A couple of wraps on there, check our length. I like my length of my tail to be about the length of the abdomen. Cinch that down just a little bit. For our ribbing, we're going to use something a little bit different. This is ultra wire. This is chartreuse. Again, I wanted to give the fly a little bit different look, and this really gives it a different look. Go ahead and tie in our ribbing. I want to bring that back a little bit so that we don't run all the way to the back of the bead. But we're going to go ahead and tie our thread all the way back to the back of the bead, and then we'll come back to where we want the abdomen to stop and the thorax to start. I normally would do this. This is a rotary vise. I just want you to see how we're laying this down. Okay, we'll go ahead and tie that off. And then this is where it's a little bit different. Instead of trimming this off, we're going to go ahead and wrap this right up to the back of the bead, not too tight though. And then we're going to go ahead and take these biots and we're going to split them in half so we have approximately an even amount on each side. I think we lost one there. Okay, and then we'll wrap back to where we're going to tie our ribbing off. And the ribbing, we're going to space this a little bit tighter. This will also increase the durability of the fly, because this is where it usually gets ripped up, is in the body. That pheasant is not real durable, but this will definitely help. So we're going to space this kind of tight. Tie that off. Instead of running this all the way up to the back of the bead, we're going to trim it off just a little bit short. Otherwise it'll get in our way. I'm going to use the back of my scissors so I don't ruin them. Lay that down. Okay, and now we're going to tie in our wing case. We're using Opal Mirage tinsel. This is large. Okay. And this kind of has a natural curl to it. What I'll do is tie it with the curl down, so when I trim it off, it's going to lay right on top. I'm going to show you something a little different here. check where we're at. That's the nice thing about a rotary vise. Looks good. Okay, and then for our thorax, we're going to do something a little bit different too. I use a couple of different ice dubs, and then I'll mix a little Dave Whitlock's SLF in that. And this will kind of bind it together. It'll give it a little bit more brown look too, and there's some other goodies in Dave's dubbing there that really adds something to it. Get a small little gob of this, dub it on there. Twist it down. All right, then we're going to go a couple of wraps forward, a couple of wraps back, build this up a little bit, kind of pull up on that tinsel, keep it off the abdomen. I think got a little too much, pull some of that off of there. And then we're going to go back up to the back of the bead, but we don't want to do this real tight because what we want to do is I want to get back there. We'll do a couple of wraps, and as you can see, it's pulling the legs back. And then we're going to do a couple of wraps in front of the legs, and you can feel the thread getting down into the hook there, and that's what we want. Because when we pull our wing case over the top, we want to leave a little bit of room there so we can kind of suck that down in behind the bead, and that'll kind of protect that from the fish's teeth too. Now we pull the excess, or the excess back over the wing case, and now we're going to do a couple of wraps, and then we'll go ahead and finish it off. We'll do 5. And if your thread does end up being a little more exposed than you like, you can, you throw your lacquer on there too. Trim that off. And this is what I was talking about. This has a natural downward curve to it now. So instead of trimming this off flush, we're going to trim it off right about dead center in the middle of the wing case. And what this does kind of gives us this double wing case look and effect. And then we'll pull our legs forward and we'll trim them off about 1/8 of an inch out. We can always take more off of them. We'll check our length. We'll just take just a little tiny bit off the front of that. And then we kind of break those up a little bit. And there you have it. There is the SPT, the finished product. And this is the Headless Fly Fisherman